Hello Stampers, it's Karen Trelfa here with Stampersclub.com, and today I'm going to share with you this awesomely adorable little honeybee card. I love honeybees. It's just such a fun, springy kind of a thing that we always see in the spring. And today I used the honeybee bundle. So you have a variety of stamps with some greetings included, and then you have some other little elements that some coordinate and some are just purely accessories to them. So that's even cooler yet. So let's get started, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. So let's get started with the stamping. So I used Daffodil Delight ink with the honey, or with the beehive. And we're just going to stamp that right down there. And then with basic black, or Memento black I used. That's my favorite black. It's nice and black. It doesn't have that purple tint to it. It's super black. I did 2 bees. I used the big bee, and I used the little bee. Okay, so those are the only elements that we need right now. And I used the honeybee dies to cut that out. Whoops. We have the beehive, and then we have the outline of the bees. Oops, upside down. So we got that bee, and we got this bee. I'll have to cut these separate. I've stamped them a little too close. So let's get that cut out. Okay. So there's our bee pieces, and then I just used some scrap black and one of the greetings from the stamp set with Versamark, and you have 4 greetings. So you have some these 2 are the 2 that I'm going to use right now. I use the thank you on this. I'm going to use the hello, and this is going to be done in Versamark. Okay. And wouldn't you know it, just before I got started, I was getting everything ready, and I dumped out all of my gold embossing powder. So we're going to make this one in pewter. Okay, and that is heat embossed. Got some tweezers. Okay. And this just gets warmed up. So it's a dry, or it's not dry, it's heat embossing. So it's Versamark with embossing powder. The Versamark makes the powder stick to it, and then you just heat it with a heat gun, and voila, you have your greeting. Okay, I know gold would have looked better, but you know, when you lose it all over the floor, it doesn't work out for you, so you make do and do something else. Okay, and then I used this it's called Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I'm taking this little tiny one. I love the stitching on dies. It just adds that nice little extra little texture to it. And then this is cut out. Let me get that cut real quick here. A good shot. You can use any die cutting machine that you have. You may just have to play with your plates and your thicknesses, but any die cutting machine you have will cut these out. Okay. Get that. Now I also, just with scrap black, I cut out the little honeycomb die piece, and then again with one of the scallop stitched rectangles, I cut out another piece of scrap black. Okay, so those are kind of the elements that I needed right away here. And then I used thick white cardstock, which you're going to want to have to score that before you fold it, because it tends to crack. Now I'm using a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock. So I use the 8 1/2 by 11, but I cut it lengthwise instead of crosswise in half. So this one I'm going to score at 5 1/2 inches. And we're just going to give it a quick little score. And then that way we don't have that cracking that can tend to happen with this thick white cardstock. It's much thicker than the Whisper White. Not quite as, it's a little bit thicker than our regular cardstock, but it's pretty nice. And then I have a piece of black that's 4 1/4 by 4. Get that taped up here. It's 4 1/4 by 4 inches. Then I used a piece of the specialty designer paper that's free with Celebration this year. Kind of goes with the sweet with the honeybee bundle. That is cut at 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. Lots of different patterns in this. These are both from that. Both of these pieces are from that paper stack. Oh, I guess just ran out of glue. Well, we're gonna go to liquid glue. My next favorite glue. Let's make sure my card is in the right direction here. Oh, I guess this isn't super directional. They're kind of flying everywhere. Okay, that's good. And then this little piece is cut at 2 1/8 by 3 1/4. I love Tombow glue. That is kind of my go-to glue. And that is just nested inside of where the stitching is on that. I know the stitching might be hard to see, but inside there. So I measured that down just to get into the center of it. And this is actually on dimensionals. So we're gonna add some of those. And this is just offset to the left a little bit. Then I'm going to grab some of the Roushed Daffodil Delight ribbon and my little honeycomb here. And since I don't have that tape anymore, what do I have? Missing tape. Well, I have an old fast fuse here. That'll work too. I'm just going to run a couple of strips of tape down here. And then the ribbon, I'm going to go across it. I'm going to flip it back over and do it again. So this couple stripes of tape there is just to help hold my ribbon down, and then go right back across again. Okay. Get some scissors here and trim the ends of my ribbon there. This is also going to be on dimensionals. Whoops, got an extra one there. Okay. Before I do that, I want to get a little bit of tape down here and get my honeycomb kind of tacked down, and it's just kind of laying there offset a little bit. We'll get this little assembly together here. Whoops. And that just gets laid right over the top of it. So you have this little bit of yellow peeking out behind there. And then the bees, I'm going to curl these up a little bit so they look like they're flying a little better. They're kind of flat. And again, ooh, I need to color these too. I've just used a Daffodil Delight blends, and I put a little bit of yellow on little bee stripes there, just on his body. You can color as much or as little of them as you want. These are also on dimensionals. There's 2 of them there. And this guy's ready to fly away and go find some friends. And this guy's hanging out, trying to get some extra bees going to work. And this is also on dimensionals. And we have just a little greeting. Now I did that one in kind of a silvery pewter color, and that one was in gold. You know, the gold looks nicer because it matches this, but this totally works. Looks just as nice in my opinion. So you can find all of these products on my website at www.stampersclub.com, and you can shop from there. You just click on the Shop Now link. Be sure to like my page here And if you have any questions or comments about the card I made today, feel free to share it in the comments below. And you guys have a stamp happy day. Bye now.